Hello, welcome to Tarot Concertina. This reading is for the Aries collective, meaning it can be your sun sign, your moon sign, your rising, etc., any prominent placement in your chart. And we're going to look into love and relationships and then career. If you're only interested in one of those readings, you can jump to them with the timestamps listed below. Keep in mind, one or both or neither of those readings could be for you, so be discerning and only take what resonates for you personally. I also attempted to get some channeled impressions and messages during a meditation before the reading began. If you would like to book a personal reading with me, the link to my website, tarotconcertina.com, will be listed in the description box below. So I attempted to get a few channeled messages or just general insights into the Aries collective at this time. During my meditation, the first thing I saw or experienced was the sensation of sitting on an old wooden fence, like from old America somewhere, almost like a scene from The Wizard of Oz. And I was looking out onto the landscape, onto the distant horizon. So you might have a childhood memory like that. I felt like I was a child in this vision. Or it could mean that metaphor of you're sitting on the fence, making a decision about something in your life. And then I got another Western Americana image of square dancing. I also got the feeling I was training for something or getting ready to run for mayor. That might be a weird message for somebody, but what I meant to say was running a marathon. So you could actually be physically building up strength somehow, or it's like you're preparing to run a metaphorical marathon in your life. And then as I was wrapping up the meditation, I got hit with this really sour taste in my mouth. So that could, of course, be a metaphor for something leaving a bad taste in your mouth. Let's first look at career for Aries in July, or whenever this video finds you. I've already shuffled this deck many times. Four of Wands, Eight of Wands in reverse, Seven of Wands, a lot of wand. In this deck it's called rods, but also known as wands, and the element of fire, Knight of Pentacles, Strength, and Knight of Swords in reverse. Bottom of the deck we have the Hermit. So the underlying energy is that you have a lot of experience with whatever your career or profession is. You're saying you've been through it all, basically. With the Four of Wands here, there's something about a home structure or a relationship structure. So you might be in a business with other people, or work around the house, or deal with property, maybe, is another possibility. Eight of Wands in reverse is kind of like something being held up in transit. Upright, it's quickly making its way toward you. It's also communication. And reverse, it's like halted or got lost in transit. Could also be a miscommunication here. Seven of Wands is blockage or resistance, putting up a fight or standing your ground. It's also about having the high ground. You have the ability to push away other influences. A message could have come in that caused you to immediately put up your defenses. Again, we have a lot of fire energy, which I'm not surprised to see in an Aries reading. And I was feeling kind of fired up when I started the reading. And I am noticing just now, strength is depicted in this deck, the Aquarian Tarot, as a man suited in armor. And it is reminding me of this image of the Emperor, which is, if I didn't mention already, I don't think I did, the Emperor is associated with Aries, and this is a collectible deck from the 1960s called the Linweave Tarot. The artist for this card is the same as this deck, so David Palladini did both of these images, and I wonder if he used it as a reference or which one came first actually. I think this one. So again, getting that feeling of suiting up, getting ready for battle. Knight of Pentacles here is about having a long-term plan, but he's also very calculated and slow-moving at times because he has this long-term vision and it's all very well orchestrated. And then when he follows through, it's very systematic. And you know this about yourself. You consider it one of your strengths. And then we move into Knight of Swords in reverse, which is kind of an opposite energy. In some ways, he's very radically different than the Knight of Pentacles because he can be very quick, almost hasty, and spontaneous, and can attack things in a way, when it's upright, it's like a helpful savior type of energy. In reverse, it's like he's making his own kind of rash decisions. Maybe after a lot of planning, you decide to go another direction. That could be. There's almost a sense of like we're moving right along as planned. Communication gets, there's something off with the communication, plans get stuck, and then you're like, wait a minute, change of plans, I know what I'm doing. But there is a word of warning here that it might be too hasty. Maybe it needs a little more thought behind it. It's almost a bit of an angry energy. It's almost reminding me of like you're a cute little porcupine going about your business, peaceful character. All of a sudden something happens and his defenses go up abruptly, his quills stand on end, and he's ready for battle. That's kind of his suit of armor. So it looks like we had a plan of action, and then suddenly things turned a little bit sour. And that's reminding me of that taste I got in my mouth, the bad taste in my mouth when I was meditating. But I would definitely lean on the fact that you have this hermit energy and you know how to handle things because you come from a place of wisdom and experience. I'm going to get clarifying tarot cards. These two fell on the floor, call that jumper cards. Knight of Pentacles again. So you might be very proud of your ability to plan ahead and you stay the course, you're methodical like we were talking about. Then we have the Two of Pentacles. So weighing your options, not sure how to balance two things. Get more cards. Maybe there was information here that came in that made you rethink your plans. Then the Five of Pentacles. Feeling left out of something. There could be a loss of income here. And then Seven of Cups. Oh, actually, Six of Cups. Six of Cups. There's a feeling here of being left out of something you felt a bond with, a kinship with, or a partnership may have ended, a contract may have ended with something you've been involved with a very long time. Let's try some oracle cards. Power, Moon and Scorpio. Protection. And decision. So maybe there's that choice you were thinking about making, you were on the fence about. And enthusiasm, Sun in Sagittarius. I'm having a little trouble piecing together this storyline, but I think the advice here is to wait on making a decision until you see the path forward that excites you and you're enthusiastic about. There's a message here about protecting your family, protecting your home. Just visually, these two cards remind me of each other. And this represents a relationship, as we discussed, or a home. Could also be a celebration or a wedding. So you might be making an effort to make a decision that will protect your family. And if you look close, there's a chessboard on this decision card. So you might feel like you're playing a game of chess, an intense game of chess, trying to make the right move, the right strategic move again with these two Knights of Pentacles. Yeah, if you could just find the right solution, it looks like you do, because we're ending with enthusiasm. Then you could win this battle, it sounds like. I'm not sure if you're going through a battle. Again, take it as it resonates. I'm gonna ask for a clear and outcome card. And one last oracle card, achievement. So it does look like, in conclusion, you do achieve your goal. So it looks like your plan does work out. It pays to plan ahead. You might have to put up a little bit of a fight, as we discussed, and stay on your feet, but it looks like things turn out well for you in the end. So that's exciting. I'm glad it concluded on a positive note. That is your career reading, Aries, and now we will look at love and relationships. Now let's look at love or relationships of any kind for Aries in July. I paused the video to shuffle. Ten of Wands in reverse, Five of Pentacles in reverse, Five of Wands. Page of Cups, Strength in the same position as the career portion of the reading, interestingly, and Four of Swords in reverse. Bottom of the deck, I am happy to report Ace of Cups. So there might be new love on the horizon for you, or a new opportunity to open your heart. Okay, so we've recently put down something we may have considered a burden or too much work, something that made us feel a little excluded, and possibly something we had to fight with a little bit. All right, it looks like things were really strained and at a breaking point recently. Again, I wouldn't be disclosing information to you that you wouldn't already be aware of. I'm interpreting this as recent past, so don't force it to fit if it's not your reading, just let it go. So we've recently relieved ourselves of a lot of anguish and a heaviness and a feeling that we couldn't quite fit in and feel welcomed, and we're opting for something warmer and more inclusive. Two cards here indicate extreme fatigue and need to rest and heal, so I advise you to do that to regain your strength. So because this card came out again in the same position, strength, it is one of your strong suits. That's very obvious, like strength is one of your strong suits. Wow, how insightful, right? So strength could mean you are somebody who can always pick themselves up, and Leo might be another prominent placement on your birth chart, or you might be dealing with a Leo, or Leo season might be very significant. So that would be end of July into August. Here with the Page of Cups, we're opening up a little bit. There also may be a sense of exploring something new to you. So your new opportunity in love might be very different from what you're used to, and it kind of opens your eyes up to a new world. So I think that's really nice whenever you meet a new person and start to open up to them. It's like you start to see the world through fresh eyes. It also might come as a surprise to you that you meet this person. It could be when you're not looking. Again, just to reiterate, it looks like take the time to rest and take care of yourself and heal from this situation. It might not have been a romantic relationship. It could have just been that you were so overburdened in work, and it was possibly argumentative, combative. There was a struggle here to overcome. Anyway, it's time to rest from that and regain your strength in order to open your heart up. Because it does look like you have a beautiful new opportunity here. Anyway, I encourage you to do your healing work so you can be ready to open your heart to this brand new opportunity in love. There's a huge sense of relief here after we get through this difficult period. Let's get clarifying tarot cards from this deck. We have the Deluge, and this is an extra card created as part of this Carnival at the End of the World tarot deck. It's not a traditional card. King of Wands in reverse. Knave of Wands or Knight of Wands, and the Magician. So it looks like you're manifesting new energy which is great because it looks like your energy was depleted for a while. The deluge could represent a cleansing, a washing away. It's more that healing, resting energy, or you just felt completely overwhelmed, swamped, if you will, and now you're free from that. I think this is just a reflection of emphasizing where you were coming from. It's like totally drained of energy, and now you feel revived, more youthful is a word I'm getting for some reason, and you're pulling in something new and healthier for yourself. It might feel like you're taking a small step back, but it's in order to leap forward further than you would have had you not taken a little break. Maybe you needed a little respite, healing opportunity to be alone before you go off on this new adventure in a relationship. Like you had to really regain your energy here. Like you're manifesting that fire for yourself. Going to get some oracle cards for extra clarity. Inspiration, Mercury in Pisces. These placements could be important or just the symbolism. And I'm getting the feeling you should pay attention to your dreams for inspiration and guidance. Birth, Venus in Cancer. So could mean actual birth, but it's usually a new concept, the birth of something new in your life. It doesn't have to be a human life form. I did just get an image of like a kitten or a puppy being born, so maybe you're looking to adopt. Get a couple more oracle cards. Idealism, Sun in Aquarius, and we got a few more that fell on the floor. Have Appreciation, Moon in Leo. Okay, so I'm seeing that there's a potential to meet somebody here with the same ideals, and you'll really appreciate each other for those reasons. Corny, but sometimes we meet people who exceed our expectations, and that can feel like, oh, I found my ideal match, and it's inspiring. It's a lot of positive energy here. And then we have flirtation, so don't be afraid to get out there and get your flirt on, but also just be open to connecting. And I just noticed they both have this, I think it's a lute, so music could be involved in some way. You just bond over music somehow. Yeah, this is a much lighter energy than what we were feeling at the beginning of the reading, and I'm so glad to see that. For the other readings, I didn't pull any further cards, but for you, I'm just curious. I want to know how you meet this new person. And here's another musical instrument here, so music could absolutely be involved in this new connection. Five of Swords. Oh. Okay, where is this going? The Chariot. Five of Pentacles in reverse. Okay, so it's referring back to this. So maybe you already know this person from this situation. I just heard somebody go, oh no, gross. It's probably not that person if you think they're gross. You could bond over both being pushed out of another situation. I just got an image of like you might meet on the way to somewhere or in transit, and you're like both bored, waiting, maybe in a terminal or something along those lines. Something about the Chariot is sometimes literally your vehicle. The cards can be very specific. Sometimes it just means what it is on the card. Like whatever your Chariot is, your bike, your motorcycle. Maybe you bump into them. Maybe you get in a car accident with them. I hope not. But anyway, there's something about waiting activity, bonding over this sense of not finding a companion for a while, and then being excited to have found each other. Looks like things are really looking up for you, and best wishes to you on your journey through the rest of July. Take care, and I will see you at the next reading.